Now at 4, the best of mankind in Muncie, the major effort to help homeowners impacted by the historic flooding, all free.
If you need help because of the flooding, there's a one-stop shop that can connect you with resources. Ahead, I'll tell you what's the deal with finding help, whether you need it, your business needs it, or you want to help others in need.
And it's nice to see some clearing skies today. How long will that last, and do we have any more rain chances in the forecast? I'll let you know.
Good afternoon, it's 4 o'clock.
Felicia Lawrence here, as well as Dustin Grove, and happening right now, Indiana Governor Mike Braun and Noblesville Mayor Chris Jensen are holding a news conference, and it's on the damage and the recovery efforts following the historic flooding we've seen the last week or so. Let's listen in.
Damage from the water, that's a relatively low figure, which then means that in trying to get everybody back in place, it looks like it could have been a lot worse than that. But that means they found family, friends, or ways to get through most of those homes that I just looked at. It'll have to be assessed whether they can be fixed or something else. And that is where then, when we turn in the information to the federal government, we'll see what they do.
Governor, can you speak to the logistics of having to pull all that information together on the state level? And then, Mayor, can you kind of speak to how you're assisting in that effort from the local level?
Well, number one, we're compiling it locally. It comes to us. We help out if necessary. It will then get, it'll be given to the feds county by county. And most of that's going to be from flood damage in 5 or 6, maybe up to 7 or 8 counties down here. In the Northwest, most of those homes are still going to be okay. For one of them to be destroyed, it would have had to have been probably by a tree coming into it. And I saw maybe 1 or 2 that would get close to that. So there it's about getting reconnected and cleaning up debris. Here it's about sizing up who's going to be able to fix up their home. Do they have flood insurance? Do they not have? Are they underinsured? And that gets to be a little more complicated formula.
I'll say from a local perspective, you know, our goal is to document every dollar that's being spent currently, whether it be city resources, county resources, and then also the damage resources, the damage that's being done there. It's an incredibly laborious process. It kind of takes us back to COVID days when we were tracking all those dollar amounts. And I can tell you, you know, Governor, you mentioned the initial authorization for $5 million. Our number as of today turned into Hamilton County is north of $10 million just for Noblesville alone, to give some context around that. So we're going to need state and federal partners to come alongside us in this.
The $10 million is what the city has spent?
Between private damage and city expenditures. Yes, that's the current number. I mean, that's going to be a moving target. It's only going to go up from here, but we're trying to get those numbers in as quickly as possible so we can get that to the federal government for assessment.
Governor, you've had a few more days now to survey some more damage. Do you think that what's happened to you rises to the level of major disaster declaration, and what's left to do?
I'd be surprised if it doesn't, but it'll be compared to things like Katrina, North Carolina, Mystic Camp near Kerrville, Texas. Those are the ones that, I mean, when you have pictures of our floods being seen on TV for up to a week, that doesn't happen very often. So, and the fact that it hasn't occurred like that in Indiana for a long time, to me it looks like just from, and he's talking about infrastructure damage, the whole gamut. To me it looks like it could, but until we get those numbers together, here is probably going to be, due to the fact that there were a number of homes in low-lying areas. White River goes right through the middle of Indianapolis, so it'll be interesting to see what we find there. And I'm going over to Carmel after this. So obviously Cambridge City, you know, took the brunt of it, and most of those homes and buildings would be probably adding to a good bulk of them. But we'll get it all compiled. Until the water receded, you couldn't do anything, but the water had already receded on Wednesday, or on Thursday, because I was up in the region on Wednesday. By the time I got there, the water was ready heading towards Noblesville.
All right, you have been listening to Governor Mike Braun along with Noblesville Mayor Chris Jensen after the two toured that community there to assess the damage and the ongoing recovery effort after the historic flood. Noblesville, of course, one of many communities across central and southern Indiana that have been hit hard, some of them experiencing the worst flooding they've seen in more than 100 years. One of the things we learned during that brief news conference was that FEMA should make a determination on major disaster status in the next 2 days. And the governor, as you heard right there, pretty confident that it will come.
Okay, and that can be, 2 days can feel like a long time, especially when folks have been dealing with this for so long already. We're talking thousands of people throughout the state still without power. A lot of people still on a boil order and not even having access to water, not having access to power. And of course, we're keeping our eyes on what's happening in the northwest part of the state as well when we talk about the damage that's been done in Gary, Indiana, as well as Lake County.
Yeah, some of those people up in northwest Indiana, they've been without power for 10 days now.
It's a really long time. It's a really, really long time. We are going to continue to cover the impact of this historic flooding here on WTHR. Make sure you stay close to our website. Let's get to more headlines this hour. Cleanup crews and repairs are underway in Muncie as floodwaters devastated that community last week as well. We sent our Ella Rhodes there. She spent the day with Southern Baptist Disaster Relief as they started their first day of work.
Here at Old Town Hill Baptist Church, you can find Southern Baptist Disaster Relief Indiana's Command Center. It's where homeowners who had flood damage can come and request help from volunteers, completely free of charge. Any homeowner without flood insurance who needs flood-related repairs can put in a work order. Volunteers will assess the damage and then begin repairs, cleaning up mud, tearing out drywall, and gutting homes. The group has around 60 volunteers in Muncie. Seth Wright said he tried to do as much as he could to remove items with water damage from his mother-in-law's home. He added that Southern Baptist Indiana Disaster Relief showed up at the right time.
We've got a huge community of support, and we still have needed extra help, so there's so many that don't have anybody. So that's going to be really critical for those people especially.
Southern Baptist Indiana team says they plan to be out here until the job is done, whether it's 1 week or 1 month. They expect to work on roughly 150 damaged homes. Southern Baptist Disaster Relief is also set up in Anderson, Newcastle, and Cambridge City. In Muncie, Ella Rhodes, 13 News.
All right, thank you, Ella. Inspectors are in Broad Ripple today assessing damage to businesses there. You may remember on Friday, more than half of Marion County's floodgates closed. The goal was to protect businesses and homes from that historic flooding. And so inspectors are going to be looking specifically to see how good of a job those floodgates did. So they're out there doing that right now. We look forward to hearing from them and getting a report. The recent flooding is impacting everybody in many different ways, really.
Whether you need help or you want to help others, Indiana has put together a checklist of resources. Allison Gormley tells us what's the deal with where to find it.
You can find all of these resources on Indiana's Department of Homeland Security website. If you go under Emergency Management, look for the August 2026 Disaster tab. You'll see several options based on your situation, including I am a resident and need assistance, I have a business that needs assistance, I would like to donate, and I would like to volunteer. Choose the option that best fits your situation, and you'll find contact information for the resources available to you. We'll post the website on our page under our dedicated flooding section. Allison Gormley, 13 News.
Allison, thank you.
All righty, we are here with Rob this afternoon, meteorologist Rob Ellis. We certainly saw some rain overnight. My house felt it a lot. We didn't get a ton of sleep last night because my baby, my 2.5-year-old, thought it was going to be thunder that went with that heavy rain. We didn't hear any thunder, but the rain was not fun.
Well, in our house, the dog didn't sleep well.
Yeah.
And when the dog doesn't sleep well, nobody sleeps well.
But it's like we've had a couple days of recovery, and now the rain's returning again for people who are coming up out of it.
Yeah, the good news is that we'll get a break. We do have some chances in the forecast, but not a lot of chances, and it doesn't look like it's going to be one of these all-day events where we just get a lot of this heavy rain. Tonight, a little patchy fog is going to be, I think, the biggest concern. We've got so much moisture left at the surface. Let's get into it and show you. We've had some clearing skies through the day today. That's been nice to see. We do have a couple of showers have tried to pop up to the north, but overall, it is a quiet forecast, at least in the short term. Temperatures currently into the 80s. The sunshine helped to warm you up. 82 at the airport. There's some 70s showing up across the area. A little bit of a light north or northwest wind at times has helped to keep things relatively cool feeling out there with temperatures into the low 80s. Certainly not as bad as it has been. Because of that, we expect that the next few hours be relatively comfortable as well. We'll call it partly cloudy skies for the short term, but I think once we get into the overnight, let's call it mostly clear skies. With the clearing and a relatively light wind, temperatures should be able to drop pretty quickly once the sun goes down. So through the 70s, ending up into the 60s during the overnight. And I actually think we'll end up with a few areas that get down into the 50s. Potentially, that may lead to a little bit of patchy, dense fog. And that is going to be one of our concerns here. With so much moisture left over at the surface, after all, we've had a lot of rain over the last couple of weeks or so. A lot of that is still out there saturating the ground. That leftover moisture will get picked up in the lower levels of the atmosphere and could lead to some patchy, dense fog. 65 is what we're expecting for the overnight low tonight. And then looking ahead to tomorrow, as I mentioned, there could be a few locations that get into the upper 50s. Because of that, we'll call it mid 60s for the city, but just about everyone else is low 60s to upper 50s. Again, all of that cooler air kind of pooling near the surface when the atmosphere settles down. Not hugely strong winds during the overnight, so calm conditions should help to allow a little bit of that patchy fog to develop. And then we should be able to burn it off pretty quickly in the morning. Now, we'll start out in the mid 60s, and we do expect to go into the 80s by the afternoon. Anything that we have in the morning as far as fog is concerned may take a little bit of time to burn off. So while we're expecting some sunshine, where you are, it depends on how quickly those clouds will burn off left over from the fog. And then I think we will go with partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies and high temperatures looking ahead to tomorrow in the low to mid 80s, depending on where you are. There could be a couple locations that stay stuck in the upper 70s, but overall, we're looking at 80s for tomorrow. I do have details on those rain chances that are in the forecast for this weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, see you then, Rob. Thank you. An 18-year-old shot by police in Carmel 2 weeks ago is now facing charges. Investigators say he pointed a rifle at officers and was trying to die by cop. Our Ashton Hackman has today's new details.
These still frames from a Carmel police cruiser captured the moment it happened. That's Jacob Berry pointing a rifle at two officers along US 31. One officer got out and fired several shots. Berry fell, dropping the rifle. Police say he reached for it again and both officers fired. He reached a third time and was shot again. Both officers then gave life-saving aid.
Arriving ambulance, you got gunshot wounds to the chest and to the arms.
New court documents detail the 15 minutes leading up to the shooting. Barry's parents called 911 saying their son was heading south from Sheridan, armed with a .22 caliber rifle and threatening suicide by cop. They helped police track him using Life 360. Police found Barry driving 110 miles an hour on US 31. They say he pulled to the shoulder, then got out with the rifle. The Hamilton County prosecutor cleared both officers of any wrongdoing, saying both acted legally. Carmel police said both officers are still on critical incident leave, adding the internal investigation is still ongoing. Jacob Berry is still in the hospital but is expected to survive. Police say he declined to comment and asked for an attorney. In Carmel, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
We have requested the entire dash cam and body cam footage of the shooting from Carmel police. The city, though, denied our request. It's 4:13. We're just getting started here at 4 o'clock. A high-speed police pursuit caught on camera the way officers stopped a speeding dirt bike rider and the unusual place he tried to hide. Still ahead.